Okay, ladies and gents, let's do this. There we go. Let me just put this to screen. Lovely. $35 seconds to go. Hope it releases soon. Yeah, I hope so too. One way return. I hope so too. Let me make myself slightly small. Yeah, I think this is about right for this stream at least. Okay. By the way, guys, this is just a watch along. Please do not take this for anything. Live in 2 minutes. What? This is not a direct by FlyByWire. It's just a watch along. Alright, it's gone down to 60 seconds now. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I think they are going to give a public alpha or release public alpha. So we can expect some good things from this QnA. QnH, I just done a flight. That's stuck in my head. So yeah. Okay. I'm going to anticipate something here. I'm not sure if you guys can see in the thumbnail, they've got Christmas lights around the fly-by-wire. So I might be wrong, but I think, does that sort of indicate that they might release it on Christmas? I don't know. I mean, look at that. I don't know. Waiting for flyby simulations. All right, let's go. Open collective. What is that? So she's a community driven. Oh, okay. Okay. Chat's going crazy, man. There are about 3,000 people waiting in their chat right now. Four and a half thousand people now in their chat. Wow. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. What do you guys think? Is it going to release today? What are your predictions? Give me your predictions, guys. I think it might release today. But I also think it might release something close to Christmas time. They really are testing us, aren't they? I'm also going to check the Flyby installer at the same time. A380X is still grayed out on their installer. Brian, hello Nabil. Has been a while. Brian, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you for joining. Just, I mean, it's been 5 minutes now. Still no sign of them. FlyByWire, where are you guys? Come on. Don't tease us already. We waited long enough for this. Adapt to change. Wait, the plane is here. The plane is not here yet. We're just waiting for FlyByWire's video. We're just waiting for them. A lot of people are saying it's delayed or whatever. It's anything but delayed, guys. It's anything but delayed. I mean, the stream is definitely delayed. There we go. Hello. Oops. Volume. Volume. Full screen? Full screen. No problem, port is getting released today. No, I thought so as well, but no, it's not getting released today. I've got the logo. What's happening? Let's see what's happening. I've got 20 knots winds to land in nice and raining. Good luck with your landing, Alexis. Good luck with your landing. We've got music and we've got the logo, ladies and gents. Landing in about 10. Let us know how your landing goes. Do let us know how your landing goes. They should start already. No, I know, but of course, it wouldn't be a teaser without, you know, teasing us. Alright, here we go. If you're doing a Q&A, let me ask, what's your full name, nationality, age and gender? James, thank you very much. It's a watch along. If you read the title again, it's a watch along Q&A by FlyByWire, not mine. Completely red on the weather radar, going straight through with noise. Actually, it said QnA at the end, if you can see properly. Yeah, but then at the start it says Watchalong. The fun part is, if I'm the one streaming, I take forever to start my stream. Now that I have to wait, it's not gonna take too long anymore. There you go. Okay, James, it's fine. Clearly, you seem it's difficult for you to understand the title. It's fine, buddy. Don't worry. Really simple for you to avoid the title. Yeah, no worries, James. That's fine, mate. Name the bill and the belly, the belly. It's like an age 21 inverted hello. What are you doing? Gender Tesco paperback. Oh, hello.
Hello and welcome to FlyByWire Simulations Out of the Hangar special episode here on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Kiwi, your host, and with me today I have some members of the team who are here to speak a bit about the A380X, share their experience on producing such an aircraft, and share some important information you should know before development opens up. From left to right on your screen, we have myself, Kiwi, Andreas, BBK, Floridude, Gurgle, and Mav. So I'll be referring to these people on the stream. They're all part of the FlyByWire team, and you'll be speaking to them later in the Q&A.
Lovely.
At the end of the stream, the Q&A session will be held with the team members. So on the chat, you will see a pinned note with the Q&A link. Please do go over to that link and make sure to submit your questions to us. We have a team working behind the scenes to collate the most upvoted and reoccurring questions today, so please do submit them and we'll come back to them later. Keep in mind that due to high demand, we may pause submissions whilst they process what you have already. So get them in early so you're not disappointed.
2M, hey, have a good night. Wow, inverted.
First though,
nice one.
before we go on to the Q&A later, we want to explain a little bit about what you should expect from the A380X upon release. With this being such a complex aircraft with unique systems, we need to be realistic on what you will experience on the simulator. So I'll pass you to Floridude to take you through some important bits.
Okay.
Yeah, gladly. Hi. So if you haven't read our recent NOTAM yet, I'd really encourage you to do so. There's extensive information on what to expect and basically what we want to achieve with this release. So go to our webpage and check out the NOTAM. I'm sure there's lots of interesting information for you. But of course, we're also giving you a short rundown of all the information here. And what we want to emphasize is basically that the release, and you'll probably hear this repeated by us throughout the stream, this will be in an open alpha stage. So the aircraft can operate normally on an A to B flight on VATSIM. This is what we tested extensively during the last weeks. And of course, we're also happy for you to try it out as soon as it's released. So however, and this is also important, you should not expect a completely bug-free experience.
Can you guys
There's lots of areas where
hear
you're
a
still
double,
improving
or is
on
it just
and keep on developing.
one voice?
And of course, I mean, that's what we do, and then that's what we're here for. We would also be happy about external contributors or testers to join us. Just to state two examples where you might experience some issues right now is, for example, the climb performance is currently exceptionally good. So, you're going to experience climb rates above 5,000 feet per minute. So we figured out the thrust needed for taxi and during cruise quite well. But right now, during the climb phase, pretty much our engine is a little bit overpowered. So you'll experience that. And also, what we also wrote in the NOTAM, if you try to exceed the flight envelope limitations deliberately, there is a good chance you'll succeed. Or there's a chance you'll succeed. So stay within normal law, within some margins, and you should be fine. But on the other hand, of course, and that's what you also highlighted in our NOTAM, we are going to have some really exciting features in our A380X. And some of them have even never been seen before in a home flight sim. For example, we have brake to vacate, we have the runway overrun warning and protection systems. We have the onboard airport navigation systems displaying an airport map on your navigation display. We have an eCam with normal procedures, also referred as to the electronic checklist, where you can go through the different stages of the flight. And also we managed to put some abnormal procedures in there, so some eCam faults. And on top of that, we also have a custom flight.
Audio's gone, isn't it? So audio has gone. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on.
We can be really excited for. And personally, we're also really excited to show this to you.
Why is it not picking it up now? Audio's gone. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me refresh this page.
Our version as soon as we release it on the installer. And we basically want to take the same approach as in the early A320 days. So everyone can fly the aircraft. And we'd of course be even more happy if people decide to contribute to our project, either by developing software or by improving the flight and the engine model.
Yeah, no audio comes through my flipping headphones. Hate it.
To maybe see some new faces after this. And if we are talking about the different phases and the release strategy behind it, let's hear from Kiwi about the intention behind the NOTAM and the stream, and also some communication aspects.
Audio's back, okay.
Thank you very much. Just a quick note first, we know that the Q&A link is not working at the moment. The team in the background are working hard to get the link going again. We think we might have overloaded it a little bit, so we do apologise. We will get the Q&A up as soon as possible. But yes, announcement stages. So you may have noticed some time between our NOTAM and the announcement for this stream. We have done this on purpose due to the nature of our project. As you know, we're all volunteers, and our spare time is taken to work on the project. So to ensure that we are ready to release a product that we know we've filled the criteria, we've taken the steps to go through quality gates throughout this launch with go, no go from the full team, so that we're certain that we'll deliver a product that is in an alpha stage in the points that we want it to be, filling the criteria that we've already noted. And talking about delivering, I want to talk about the infrastructure regarding accessing the A380. So on release day, it will be accessible via the installer. But as with everything in our organization, the installer, download, and API infrastructure is maintained and monitored by volunteers. And this infrastructure is based on industry best practices and uses services like Cloudflare, which are designed to handle high load. However, just as with the aircraft, we want to manage expectations a bit and warn that delays and slowdowns might happen. We have potentially just crashed the QnA, so that gives you a kind of an example of the demand that we're seeing for this. So the team will be monitoring and doing their utmost best to try and avoid it. But if you do have issues on the release day, please do let us know by the support channels, and we'll do our best to support you. So that's what you can expect from the for the A380X, what you can expect it to do, and why we have done what we have done so far. So I think hopefully you'll understand the process of why we've staggered the announcements that we have done. So we're now going to go on to the 4 years of development. So as you know, many of you have been here from the start with the A380 from the origins of Microsoft Flight Simulator through to now, which has been an incredible 4 years. With me today on the stream, we have several members of the team who have been working on the A380X. And some of them have been in full for the 4 years here, and others have only been here for a year or so and joined us quite late on to then work on the aircraft. So I'm going to pass you on over to Gergel now and just see from Gergel, what does it mean to you that we are now at this final stage of closed development?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for me, the reaching of the end of the closed development is a reminder that
really
what a
hard to
dedicated group of people can do as a team. For me, for example, it started roughly 2 years ago when I bought MSFS 2020, and I started looking into FlyByWire because I knew them already before, and I was interested in this whole coding of airplanes in MSFS. So I looked at GitHub and was getting familiar with the code. And then I started to take some simple tasks. For example, simple task. I implemented the physics of the PTU based on Davy's simulations. And also I did improve the bleed system a little bit from PPK.
There we go.
And yeah, and then I was gracefully already invited into the team. And I started looking into different other tasks, for example, the electrical system of the A380 QnX, which had some rough edges at some points.
Sounds so sweet now. Cool.
Yeah, and then I was also looking into then implementing the electrical system for the A380, which I built from ground up. So this was a really cool experience. Also learned a lot of stuff. And yeah. So, and now I have a good feeling that it will be a cool product. And yeah, so before MSFS, I had a long pause from flight simming because I used FSX before and then it didn't run anymore. And then I lost the flying aspect of it. And yeah. And I think Floydwood had the same experience as me, that he made a long pause before MSFS. So maybe you want to talk about what your experience is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I think we were kind of similar in that aspect that so we had FSX and enjoyed it quite a lot, but then we kind of lost track of it or maybe had a little pause in between. And as you, Gergel, I discovered MSFS 2020 shortly after release and kind of got hooked again. And so I started it, I think, around maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And started with like flying around a little bit, but I wanted to kind of do more. And so I stumbled, I think it's pretty much the right word. So I stumbled upon FlyByWire because I wasn't in the community as much. And I discovered it in March 23. And it seemed very interesting because I don't develop software as a main job anymore, but I still love creating software, and I might be not the best at it. I'm pretty sure I caused some headaches in my early tries, but over the time you get into it more and more, and you all also like discover your old skills. That was really cool to see. And I started with smaller changes on the A380X, but since the A380X project was a thing back then also, I was really interested in working on that as well. So I spoke to Holland, one of our avionics developers, and I got the chance to build the multifunction display user interface, so the pilot interface for the flight management system, and kind of built this from the ground up with a lot of his guidance at first. And I really got hooked into developing because the developer experience was really good. We had mature build and development workflows. You can even like develop code live and kind of live reload them in the sim, so without any big reload cycles and so on. And also we had so many systems from the A380X that was kind of easy to copy them over at first.
Enjoying
and
the code and enjoying the final product as well.
From there on.
What your final product
so
will look like.
that was really cool to see, and it's really a lot of fun developing in the sim.
That's what's important in my opinion.
So initially I kind of tested the multifunction display in the A380 QnX. I just used the primary flight display for it because there wasn't a model available back then. But shortly after, I got invited into the A380X team and ported the multifunction display there, and basically got involved in lots of other systems and instruments. So I got to know like quite a lot of aspects of the aircraft, and also learned a lot about the aircraft itself and its operation in the real world, which was also a lot of fun on the side, pretty much. And I was also kind of able to bring in experience from my main job in organizing some aspects of our development. And I think if I would have to break it down, that's kind of the true strength of volunteer teams. So you have diverse teams with really vast experience in a lot of fields, and they all offer their knowledge for free, and they all work on this, and they are really, really driven by it. And that was really cool to see, like such a big team coming together and doing such amazing work.
Exactly what you were saying, adapt to change.
If I would have to talk about the last weeks, I've been primarily also working on some autopilot and autocross aspects. And that's basically where I stumbled upon Andreas' name a lot, because he kind of laid the groundwork for that. And so I want to lead over to Andreas. How did you come to FlyByWire, and also why?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's quite a while back when I started in the FlyByWire team, and I mean my starting point back in time was really that flying with the Airbus, with the default Airbus in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was kind of annoying me because it was very hard to land, especially on roll control. And yeah, then I discovered, oh, there's a cool project. There are cool people modifying this plane, and I got to the Discord and was involved there, and then I basically started implementing a custom FlyByWire system on my PC and trying how this could work, and that was basically the starting point, because it went much more well than I thought. And yeah, at some point, I got it working and integrated into the plane, and yeah, that was my starting point. And it was quick. It was very quick then that I implemented then the autopilot and also the autothrust system, because it was also not so working as we expected it. And yeah, we had really crazy times, and it was, I would say, it was so cool to meet so many wonderful people, with so much experience in all these areas, and so that was a really cool journey. And I mean, I started. I thought when in the preparation of the stream, I thought, when did I start actually with Microsoft Flight Simulator? And I think it was really the number 2 on Atari ST, and I mean that was of the age of 10, and I think I even was not knowing what I'm doing there, right? So I thought, clocks, what is this doing, and that stuff. But I was always keen on the Airbus side, so I was always interested in the FlyByWire itself, how this works, and I tried in the past already to implement this before, and yeah, so it was a long journey also for me to get into this, and it was now also personal learning path to get into control theory, and and also to learn how to operate such a thing, right? So we had people flying this plane. I implemented then this flight data recorder, which records a lot of data, hundreds of parameters that we can get later on to make some analysis. And and nowadays, I mean, it's even cooler. So I step back a bit. Yeah, I come back sometimes a little bit more and a little bit less. But it's really cool that we have now also this team, which is capable of working on these systems, has grown a lot. So Lucas, Ibrahim, and Floridude can also now work on this system, and so it changed hands to other people, and that's something that is really cool. And one of the areas I would say I'm still doing most of the time is the autoland feature. So the flare law and this stuff, that's mostly my job. And that's critically it about my experience there. And so
It's amazing, man.
and that was, to be
Amazing
honest,
work by
so
this
at the
team.
beginning point, when the team said, okay, we are doing an A380, while the A320 was, I think, not in a
Like to
in a
think that
very good shape. It
these
was
people
very
have
very
normal
early, and this
jobs,
stuff,
they do that,
I
and then they
thought, oh
come
my
home
gosh,
and volunteer
what's
to
going on
program
there,
an
right?
aircraft that is free
And
to
to be
public.
honest,
It's
when I
just
see now the
amazing.
result, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool what
If the
has
Autoland
been done by
fail, I
this
know
team
who to blame
and
now.
these people.
Yeah.
And I'm trying it also in VR. The A380X,
Okay.
so I'm flying most of the time in VR, and I tell
Okay.
you, it's really
Yeah,
a
because someone
crazy
asked a
feeling
question
sitting in this big
in the
cockpit
QnA thing that,
and navigating this
what
plane on
about
the ground.
flying it in VR?
It's
I guess
fascinating.
that
Yeah.
answers that.
So look forward to it.
You must feel like a real pilot in the VR. That'd be pretty cool to have, to be honest.
Yeah.
Has any of the team here actually flown on the A380 in the past? At all? Has anyone experienced that?
I was
Yeah.
flying.
A special mention for our friend Boris, who has worked on the sounds, as people know,
Wow.
for the A32NX, who has also worked on the sounds on the A380X, and is
Boris has worked on the
continuing to
sound?
develop them. In your
That is amazing.
experience, to the guys on the stream now, what's your thoughts on the sounds so far? And are you looking forward to Boris refining them even further to really bring the aircraft
Boris Sounds.
even more real?
Boris Sounds, the guy who's worked on iFly
Yeah, so
77
it's been
Max
really
sounds.
amazing hearing the sounds in the sim. So I had the chance to fly an A380 flight, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so I would say my memory is still quite recent of that. And if you compare the sounds we have in the sim right now to the sounds basically in the real aircraft, it sounds really similar and even like indistinguishable. So hearing the engine spool out during takeoff and hearing the trends, the Rolls-Royce trends war, is really, really something like a really good experience. And also all the minute details of the cockpit sounds and the different actuators and the different vents we have in there. It's really, really cool to hear.
Yeah, brilliant. So his work is really impressive, and the people know, the
Yeah,
people have
100%.
already spoken about this in the past, and they're really
Boris is
passionate about
amazing.
how well the sounds are in the A32NX. So you know what you're going to expect in the A380X is the same level of detail that is going to be implemented. Right now, that level of detail might not be there in all areas, but we know that Boris is continuing to refine and perfect the sounds in multiple areas. So
Which
keep
makes
that in
sense 'cause
mind
it's
when the
an alpha
A380X
release, so
does release.
it's fine.
Just one question to throw out to the team. I'll throw it out to Gurgle first. What are you most looking forward to after the release? So once we do release the aircraft, what are you looking forward to do or see, or what's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm seeing forward that the community finally gets the hand on the S380, to be honest. And
Mhm.
also, well, yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Brilliant. Floridude?
Yeah, pretty much the same, I would say. So that's what we're all working towards really, really hard, that the community can finally experience this. And let me tell you, it was not easy. We spent a lot of time on really making sure that it's something that the community will enjoy. And I think also the people are going to really, really like flying the A380 because it's also such a well-designed aircraft with so many cool features for pilots, so many cool systems. So it's really joy to fly.
No, 100%, man. It'll definitely be
Great, thank you very
absolute
much. As you know, these aren't the only developers for the A380X. We have a huge team that have been behind it, and some of the team that wish to be on the stream today were not able to. And some of them were the modelers of the A380X, which is an absolute marvel to, if I do say so, because of the complexity of the aircraft itself and the sheer size in the sim. So I give a special shout out to Repsol and Mike for the modelling and the textures of the aircraft. As you will see a little bit later in the Q&A, you'll see some of the images from the simulator of the A380X most recently. So you'll be able to appreciate some of the detail that's explained or shown there. So I am going to move on. The next thing is the Q&A. However, before we get to the Q&A and finish off our stream for today, we have one more thing to bring you. We have proactively displayed the development of the A380X from its early stages of modelling 4 years ago to the recent wing flex and system depth development. We have grown a love for this aircraft more than we ever had before, and we think it's time for you to love it as much as we do. So, pilots, grab your flight bag and spool up your engines. The A380X Alpha will be ready to take off on October the 31st, 2024. And you'll be able to download it through the installer, the same as you do for the A320X.
October 31st?
Alongside this release, the development will continue openly
I
on
literally
GitHub.
fly a day after.
This is an alpha release, as we have noted in our NOTAM. This means that we want to escalate the development to really start progressing on some of the detail. Much like the A320X, this aircraft is releasing in a similar position as we started on the A320X.
Yes.
And so please do expect what we have already mentioned with what systems will be functioning and what might be coming later on. But we will be releasing on October the 31st. So hopefully that will answer a big bulk of the Q&A of when the aircraft will be releasing. And we now, if you're in our Discord, we can now release the .when command to pretty much not use that ever again, hopefully. But yes, that's the news you have been waiting for, that the A380X Alpha will be releasing on October the 31st. So we'll now go on to the Q&A. The Q&A link did work eventually, so we do have questions coming in now. So,
we're just
as we go into
Lil Pop, A380 is coming out
first
on
of all,
31st. Woken up to, woman up to. I was like, why is it saying woman up to?
Will there be a cabin in the A380X?
Yes, there's going to be a cabin. So I'm kind of answering this on behalf of Repsol because he can't join unfortunately today. So it's mainly the work of Repsol and Mike, and it's really amazing what they did there, and I'm really excited for it. So we are going to have a cabin, which is pretty much all done except the business class right now.
I know, man. It's gonna be.
But from my point of view, it still looks spectacular.
Yeah, I'm literally flying on 1st of November to America.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
And it comes out on 31st. Like,
next question is pretty much going back to you, is about the paint kit. So we know that many of our community would like to create their own liveries for the aircraft. So will there be a paint kit available?
Also, the short answer, depending on what you're trying to do. So we are going to release an OBJ file So some of our experts know how to pretty much what this means already. So in short, you can use the OBJ file to load into Substance Painter and create your liveries basically. And what we're also trying to do, but there's no full commitment right now, but we're really trying hard to release this as well, is a PSD file, so a Photoshop
It's fine.
file
You'll
with
have time for
layers and a wireframe in
You'll
it,
make time for it.
and also a blank white livery. So you can start painting pretty much as soon as the aircraft releases.
I think they were saying in a Blue and XP podcast that the main theme is gone off from Emirates cabin. So a lot of the cabin that you'll see in A380 will reflect Emirates
Thank you very much.
cabin if you've been into Emirates
BBK,
A380.
were you all developers prior, or did you learn as you went along with the A380X and the A320NX I would go along with? And how could someone, if they wanted to, how could someone get involved with the with developing with us?
Yeah, thanks for the question.
I can imagine Dubai Airport on
I'm not
31st
a developer
is going to be
before
maniac.
developing
Absolutely
the plane,
maniac
the
on
A320X and the
31st, man.
A380X. I don't do this as a job. It's more as a hobby, and I started as a hobby. I had smaller projects before to learn how to code and to work on little things. I started developing for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 when I learned about the A320NX, and I thought it was a really cool project, and I followed the development progress quite closely before I actually started contributing myself.
Going to be under pressure.
And then to
I don't
answer
even know how
maybe the
they're
second
going to
part of the question, how does
No
one get
idea how
involved?
they're
I
gonna
can
cope
answer
with that,
how
man.
I got involved. So the best thing to do, honestly, is just to look at our GitHub. This is where we store all of the source code. This is where you can see all of the contributions that have been made so far. If you're a developer, you will know what this means. And to anyone wanting to get involved and wanting to learn how to code, I also encourage you to learn how to code with the project or maybe with smaller projects. And just have a look at our GitHub. We have a list of open issues to solve. There's plenty of open issues to solve.
A lot of them, they use
welcome
that, yeah.
every contribution. We
A
welcome
lot of the
all,
big airlines
even
have
very
a
small
A380 in their fleet.
contributions. This is kind of what FlyByWire is built upon, essentially. And yeah, just pick out any issue that you want to fix, be it ever so small, a typo, a small change in the logic somewhere, an if statement, and just send us a PR. Then one of the maintainers of the repo will have a look at your code, and then it will hopefully be tested and merged into the main version of the aircraft. Of either of the aircraft, I have to say now, because as a small advertisement, maybe we also welcome contributions to the A380X. Now, even more so that you have the ability to test it on your own machine on the 31st.
Bro, it's absolutely mental.
Excellent, thank you
I
very
cannot believe
much.
this aircraft's coming. So
Mav,
we're making the PR to FlyByWire. Yeah.
will we be publishing a SimBrief profile on release or just after release? Will the community be expecting one very soon?
Yes, we have already one, and we will also launch our docs website, at least the beginner's guide, which also will have a SimBrief section where you can download via the link.
Let me check
the
if
profile
they have
you can
a
use
SimBrief
for SimBrief.
profile for A380 already in here.
Brilliant, thank you. And Andreas, you mentioned earlier about you using VR in the simulator on the A380X. And we have a question here about VR support for the aircraft. So do you want to explain a little bit about your experience and if there's any limitations?
Sure, I'm happy to do so. Yeah, so you can fly with it pretty decently, so it's not really an issue.
Yeah, there's an A380
it's still saying
profile.
that it's not fully supported in VR, so
default at
there's
the moment.
always this message box that comes up, so everyone flying in VR knows this pretty well. But that's it basically. So you can
I'm so happy for this.
fly
This
the
is amazing.
plane
These guys are going all
as
out.
you
These
should do
guys
it.
are doing amazing work, man.
There might be some
listen, my food
small
is here
things
now,
that are maybe not
and I'm gonna
optimal
go
yet.
eat my food. I
But
will see you
overall,
guys
I
tomorrow
can do
in
a full Ryzen
Ryanair
flight
from Paris Orly to
in VR with this
newly
plane.
released.
It's quite heavy on performance, maybe. Yeah. So I
Madeira.
had some issues
So,
combined with
yeah,
some
I'll see you guys
airports
in that
around
one
Frankfurt, I would say.
Until then, take care of yourself.
But
Thank you very much
in
for popping in.
general,
I do
it's
appreciate
pretty
you guys.
decent and
Take care.
it works well. So it's quite fun
You
to do
guys
so.
can go head over to
In terms
FlyByWire
of your
channel to watch
setup,
further.
what